Good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Refuel Devotional. My name is Jason, and I want to talk to you specifically about resetting your relationships. Since the start of the year, we've been in a series called Reset here at Bayside, and I believe one of the most important areas that all of us can reset is in the area of relationships. Our tendency, if we're honest, is to isolate and live life alone, but what I found is life is lived best when life is lived in community. We see this in a character in the Bible by the name of Peter. Peter, on the heels of denying Jesus 3 times, tries to isolate himself. But in John chapter 21, we read a few words that seem unimportant, but I believe changed Peter's life. Peter wants to go back to the thing Jesus called him away from, which was fishing. He says, I'm going to go out fishing. But what I love is the community around him didn't allow him to isolate. And the disciples said to Peter, well, if you're going fishing, we're going with you. There's so much power that's found in the context of community. In community, really, we experience 3 things. The first thing we experience in community is protection. When we look at the life of Peter, I believe that he was able to be impactful and he was able to do what Christ called him to do because he experienced the protection that came from being in community with other people. When you look at Peter's life against the life of another disciple that let Jesus down by the name of Judas, Judas ended up ending his life while Peter ended up having a life of purpose and meaning. What was the difference between the two? Community. Judas was isolated, but Peter was in community. Community gives us protection, but community also gives us connection. One of the most fundamental things all of us need in life is connection. We connect to our families, we connect to our friends, we connect all throughout our lives, and connection is essential for our lives. Why is connection so important? Because connection is a place of encouragement. When you're discouraged this year, my hope for you is that you have enough community surrounding you that you experience the connection and encouragement that comes from being with other people. And then finally, what we see in Peter's life is, as a result of being in community, his life has direction. If you've been wandering around aimlessly, if you've been feeling like your life does not have purpose and meaning, my challenge to you is to get in community because community can help give your life direction. Where do we see that in John chapter 21? In John chapter 21, when Peter makes the decision to go fishing, Jesus actually shows up and appears to him on the water and says, Peter, no longer do I want you to be a fisherman, but I want you to go into the world and tell the world about me. It is in the context of community that Peter is given direction from Jesus to go out and live a purposeful life. So this year, my challenge for you is to gather yourself in community. In the moments when you want to isolate, in the moments where it feels like being alone is better than being together, my challenge is for you to get in community with other people so that you can experience the divine direction that God has called you to. The good thing about being involved in a community is that you don't have to go at life alone, but you can do it together with other people. So this year, don't isolate, but get yourself into community and see how much that enhances your life.